All right. And we are live. It is the One to Go Show. It is Ryan Aho. It is Puka speaking. Real quick recap here of the Grand Rapids Classic. Before we get into that, if you look in the show notes, we have our online store. It's now up and running, so check it out. We got all kinds of merch. We got special shirts for the weekend and for the 100. So
well, you guys are troublemakers. Let's just be honest.
We got some special stuff. So click the link. It'll bring you over to the online store. You can check that out. So like I said, I don't know, what is this,
29th annual
29th.
WISSOTA Classic here at the Dondelinger Ford Grand Rapids Speedway. I got to be honest with you, with the hot weather, a little bit of a breeze, a lot of cars, I'm like, it's going to lock down, and the track was awesome. First thing I want to do, Fred Holschel, he does the track here at the Grand Rapids Speedway. That is 2 thumbs up. The track held together all night long. I mean, if we're going to nitpick, there's a couple races that could have maybe missed at the top for the Midwest Modern and Supers, but you're not going to get a much better late model finish than that. That was unbelievable. We'll get to that in a minute. But if you haven't seen it, you better jump on to Dirt Race Central and catch it. It's worth watching. It was good racing tonight.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that was my first comment was, they stayed on top of the track pretty well all night. I was impressed with that. Like I said, heat, even the wind, I mean, it's not, the flag's not totally going, but there was a breeze all night. Why don't we start there real quick? Thoughts on the silver? 51st annual Silver 1000 last year. I wasn't there, you were there. Anything come to mind?
It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like super heavy, muddy, hammer down wrecking cars. It wasn't that. It wasn't latched up rubber. It was dry. There was a top, there was a bottom, there was a middle. It just seemed like everybody was kind of the same speed, right? Nobody was really moving around. Johnny Broking, who he's kind of been up and down, had a hell of a run last night. Probably the best run of the night was him. He started, I believe, 14th and actually worked up to 3rd. Hell of a run for him last night. Shout out to Harry Hansen, right? I mean, we kind of picked on Harry a little bit here over the last couple of years. I'm like, I don't know, should he still be doing it? 2nd place, runner-up in that Rocket last night. Hell of a run for him. 2 Hibbing cars in the top 3. Derek Fessel got 3rd, and of course, your winner,
Darrell Nelson, so becomes
Hermantown Hammer,
becomes the winningest late model driver. I think it's 12 time, and it becomes
12
the winningest
overall. And the thing with Darrell, the day before, I'm not sure if you knew this, so I was talking to Steve Rosine that works for him, passed out at work, exhaustion, dehydration, and it's like he went to the hospital. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to race. Kind of worked out pretty good for him. He parked it in Victory Lane in the modifieds. Dan Ebert come to town. He said, I kind of had to take the old WISSOTA car out from, back in the corner, kind of dust the dust off of it because he's running US MTS, class of the field. Mike Anderson, strong, not so good tonight. Strong run last night. Another tire of the deal, though. Brandon Kopp was actually running 3rd last night, about 8 to go. All the tread flew off of his right rear tire. Haven't talked to anybody yet tonight to see if that happened here. I don't think so. But overall, they had a good fan base over there. A lot of cars, good car counts. I think 39 late models, 30 mods. Racing was okay. But here, if I had to go either or, Grand Rapids tonight was spot on. It was definitely a better show.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the heat races. I had some notes here. So how about Dave Kane starting on the pin, not winning? How often does that happen in the heat?
Not often, but he had a stacked heat. Come on. That heat was absolutely loaded. It's not like there was a lot of fluff in that one. I was just happy as hell to see him here, right? I wasn't sure. He hasn't come up north in recent years quite as much, but I'm not sure. Hopefully he's coming to Hibbing. Dave Kane's a great addition to the field for sure.
And then Alan Olafson back in the saddle. How impressed were you with that? Came out of nowhere.
Ole, we love Ole, right? He's been racing forever. He's got, I think it's Landon Atkinson's old lethal car, and great to see him. I'm sure he'll be over at the shootout. He pretty much comes over to that. So, yeah, pretty good heat races. The heat races, I think, were all pretty entertaining all night long.
Well, especially the late models. The one, the 3 heats. Right away we had Provenzino and Canta going at it. Provenzino trying to roll them, but that was a really good heat race. Second heat race, Harry Hansen, the aforementioned, and that Rocket. But eventually the 6M overtakes him. And how about Kevin Burdick just kind of putting the smack down? He cleared Sammy Mars and he won by about half a track.
He did. And he actually made some mistakes over in 1 and 2. You could tell the car was tight. He jumped, but he kind of had the easy. I don't want to say it was an easy. Sam Mars, good race car driver, but compared to the other two, a little bit lighter. Burdick looked really good, but those heat races, let's be honest, a lot of times heat races are not real good, right? But the heat races tonight, especially in the late models, modifieds as well, highly entertaining.
Yeah, very good. Yep. All right, so where do you want to start with the features here?
Well, let's just start from the beginning, right? Midwest Mods. I mean, stacked field. Great to see. Of course, your winner, Jason Vandekamp. I mean,
No surprise.
No shock there. What surprised me, though, Zach Benson. You don't see it often.
Yes.
Got himself turned around, and I mean, it was one of those deals. The bottom was dominant. There was no top, no middle. And it was kind of like he was trying something. He got loose, and it just not a good night for your national point leader. Mervyn Castle was up in the top 3, and I think he ended up fading way to the back, clipped one of the tractor tires, and left front was busted. He tried like hell to keep it up there, but it just didn't work out for him. I was kind of hoping to see old swerving Mervyn park it tonight, but didn't quite get her done.
No, Charlie was not here.
Charlie wasn't here. I'm guessing there must have been a family deal or work or something. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll be in Hibbing.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we haven't been down in the pits yet, so
Right.
not really sure why Charlie wasn't here.
Okay. Supers.
Supers, Shane Sabraski started on the front row. I mean, it's over, right?
Right. That's
No,
what
not so much. Not so much. DJ Keeler started on the pole. DJ Keeler's a good race car driver. You know, it's kind of quietly he's there. He started inside pole. It was a bottom dominant track for the super stocks. Sabraski started high, a little tight at the beginning, and I didn't see exactly what happened, but he kind of battled a little bit, slipped back, and then kind of got together with somebody, turned around, fell to 6th. But because he's a good race car driver, he doesn't just lose it, bring out a yellow. He kept going, battled back up. I think he got 4th. But I think Chernosky had a great run. I think he got 2nd. You know, your track champion here, Dustin Nelson, Donkey Award, right? He went over to the Princeton Speedway. That's a home track for him. It really is. It's a track points night over there, so I get it. I was hoping to see Dustin. Tristan LaBarge kind of had some struggles.
I was going to bring. Yeah, struggled off the bat. He struggled in the heat.
He did, and he started deep in a NASCAR heat, right? I mean, like that heat was stacked, and literally he got a couple cars zigged and zagged in front of him, and he was just wrong place, wrong time. And then his right rear shock came off. He texted me. He goes, right rear shock fell off, and he worked like hell on the car. So it wasn't lack of maintenance, just an oversight. But not a great night for the 19. But hey, congratulations, DJ Keeler. That's not a guy that you typically see winning a bunch of specials like this. So that's a great win for the 12.
Yeah, he probably wasn't on many people's lists. All right, modifieds, person we've been talking about for the last couple of years.
I'm telling you, the young contingent in modified racing is exciting. I'm going to go back to the heat race. One of the kids that was fun to watch, Caden Blazer, right? I think he's 14, 15 years old. That kid is flat out up on the wheels, super exciting. I think he was right around 5th. I don't have it in front of me, but he had a pretty solid run. But Kennedy Swan is a race car driver. Now, I gotta give myself a donkey award here because her dad texted me, right, and said, this is in the off season. What do you think? Should I put Kennedy in an A mod? I'm like, dude, like I didn't know how to be politically correct, right? So I'm like, yeah, maybe one more year Midwest mod, right? And I'm thinking in my mind, she's 14, 15 years old. I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea. It took 1 or 2 nights, and she was phenomenal, right? And she literally was I'm gonna say she was the class of the field. Sabraski won, but I think experience got him that win because she was rolling the middle, which is weird because not many people were running that line in 1 and 2, making good ground, and she was really good on the top of 3 and 4. And here comes Shane Sabraski, right? Shane Sabraski gets up in lap traffic, and he's so good at anticipating. And he just took advantage of lap traffic, and once she got back in clean air, she started to kind of pick up some speed, but a great runner-up finish. Sabraski, your winner, national point leader. I think he's going to lock that deal up pretty darn soon. Another Wissota national title for the 7A. But Kennedy Swan, a great night for her running 2nd, and Bob Broking, the other driver on the podium.
Yeah. Kennedy led the most laps. Like I said, we talk about the experience. There was one lap there where he had just gotten around Kennedy, but then he put 2 lap cars between them in a hurry, and I think that really helped him.
I got to be honest, I like Shane Sabraski, but we all wanted Kennedy Swan to win. It just is what it is.
There are a lot of people cheering for Kennedy,
right?
That is for sure. All right, so let's move on to late models. Like you said, great race, photo finish. Burdick led 39
and 3/4 laps. Yeah, and that's a tough one. It really is. Burdick's highly competitive. I promise you, he's not happy. He's not happy with 2nd. You don't lead all the way to the line and be happy, but a hell of a good run. 2nd place in a Challenge Series race, 2nd place in a big late model race here. That's a great run. Ryan Michelson is quietly, like, always there. Last night he spit out a drive shaft right away. He's supposed to start right up in the front, spit a drive shaft, great podium. But how it all come down, right, is literally the last lap. They come across the white. Burdick's leading. Michelson's in second.
And Michelson passes Massengill on the backstretch to get into second.
Yep, on the last lap, or actually coming for the last lap, right? Massengill's in third. They come down into one, and Michelson kind of overshot. Massengill got to the inside, and literally Burdick went from first to second, like, I don't know, in the last 50 feet or whatever. But Massengill was in third, halfway down the back straightaway on the last lap. Massengill was in third, and Jeffrey doing what Jeffrey does. There's not many drivers in Wissota in any class better than that 6M on the bottom. Remember, 3 years ago, we were really high on him in the show. Like with that Kryptonite, the last 2 years in that Sniper, it just didn't fit him. That car was just, it wasn't his deal. Well, he's back in the Kryptonite. Had some issues with it early in the year, and that thing has been unbelievable. He got second in a first last week in Challenge Series. Kind of got buried a little bit last night, and another win tonight. I'm telling you what, that 6M is going to be awfully dangerous here the next couple nights.
He found that tack coming out of 4, and it from 6. He won from 6.
He did.
So I don't know how many Challenge Series races this year have been won from 6.
And Pat Dorr up there, right? But he's just kind of like, I don't know, the last couple nights. I mean, he's there. And we're going to Hibbing. Pat Dorr, the second most winning driver in Labor Day shootouts. I think second. I think Skeeter's number one, I believe. But Pat Dorr, I mean, he's awfully good at Hibbing. I tell you what, you beat him back into a corner, you probably want to keep him there. I have a feeling that he's going to be a little extra motivated. He calls it the Norwegian Riviera up here in northern Minnesota. So Pat Dorr, not a great night. But what's interesting, so first place, Jeffrey Massengill, that's a Kryptonite. Second place, Kevin Burdick in an MB. Third place was Ryan Michelson in an SSR. Fourth place, Jeff Provenzino 28 Special. 4 chassis brands in the top 4 in the late model. It's not like Lucas where you have all Longhorns, right? This here you have a kind of a whole mix, and it's kind of cool to see one of those local cars that built right in Hibbing up in the top 5 too. Bravo's been pretty good this year.
And getting back to Michelson, about 10 to go. Did you see him get into the lap car?
Yeah.
So I mean, he might have had something for the lead, but that he got a little snub there. He had to hit jam the brakes and then get around him.
What was Heinley doing? Right, I like Heinley, but he was racing Burdick, and then he's racing like they're battling there for second and third, and he's racing the leaders. It's like, dude, get out of the way.
Is that one of those deals? Well, see, I've never raced, but was that one because they were running the top here, they were kind of running all over. Is that where you just don't know where to go?
You got to lift, right? Because they were throwing the move over flag lap after lap. Like and move over flag does not mean move over, right? Because you don't know where people are, but it means when there's a lead, like the lead pack is right there, you roll out of the gas and you let them go by. You don't race the leaders. So that was a little frustrating, and honestly, that cost Kevin Burdick the win. He had a huge lead, and it took him forever to get by Heinley, and every time he'd show, Heinley just would not lift and let him go by. It's like, dude, you're in last all by yourself. Just get out of the way. But tough break for Burdick. You're going to win some that way, and you're going to lose some that way.
Jeff Massengill indicated. So if you're going to be a good racer, you need some luck on your side. He said tonight I had the luck, and he definitely did. So 29th annual in the books. Like I said, good. So
I got donkey award to my boy Tyler Cantor. I love me some Tyler Cantor, right? But dude, like, I saw a deal you're partying at Hibbing, and I get it, right? But come on, man, like, I promise you, and I hope Hibbing's good. I really do. I've seen some really good racing at Hibbing. It's going to be tough to beat the track that they had tonight. Okay? Even if it's good, this track was phenomenal, and I wonder if some of those folks are back at Hibbing going, crap, we probably should have went tonight.
Right.
But I'm going to say this, more cars than I expected, a really, really good field of cars, and the fan count was great. It was super cool seeing a whole bunch of Thunder Bay cars down here, meaning they'll be in Hibbing. One thing I found interesting, Midwest Mods and A-Mods, right? They were in 20-car features. I don't know what the deal was with that. That was interesting. I had some people text and say, why are they running 20-car features? I mean,
for those two classes.
Literally all that was left in the A-Mods was 25. Pretty much every other track would run 25 cars. Probably didn't even need a B-main. Didn't even need one. And then the Midwest Mods, I mean, they ran 20 there as well. So I found that interesting because most invitationals you start 24, right? So I'm not sure what the logic was.
Here's another one. You're talking about that. 18 Supers. They ran 2 9-car heats instead of 3 6-car heats. Thoughts on that?
I like it,
Okay.
for sure. There's 5 classes of cars. We do not need 6-car heat races.
Okay.
And especially because it's going to be, I think they redrew the top 4, right? So, I mean, you get up in the top 4, and if you're buried, right, if you're that driver starting 9th, you're like, no, I want 3 6-car heat races, right? But as a fan, nobody wants to watch 3 6-car heats, right? The rule of thumb is in order to hit 3 heats, you got to hit that 21 mark, and then you have 3 7-car heats. That's kind of the norm.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, the night's in the books. Anything else? Otherwise, we're on it, and we'll do a pre-race tomorrow.
Well,
right?
you will. 45th annual Labor Day shootout. Excited for that. I mean, I think the car count's going to be better. Me and John Tardy were talking, and it's like, I think the car count's going to be pretty light. But after seeing the car count tonight, they always have more in Hibbing than they had here. They had a solid field of cars here, so I'm pretty optimistic for tomorrow. You're going to want to get out there, enjoy the show. 5 o'clock start time the next 2 days.
It'll be tough.
90-some degree weather, better than 3 o'clock, way better than 3 o'clock, but we've seen all summer long, right? We've seen a lot of places say, hey, we're going to move it back an hour because it's too hot. But I guess they're going to have the work cut out for them. It's going to be a very tall task at 5 o'clock start time in Hibbing to keep that track racing.
Yeah, I hope they're putting about 25,000 gallons of water on the track tonight. So bring your sunscreen tomorrow if you're coming to Hibbing. And I guess that's it. So we'll catch you all tomorrow. The One to Go show. Like I said, check out the link below. Go to the online store, check out the merch. And like I said, we'll see you all in the next video.